The opposite of love is non-acceptance. That is judgment. And this is a quote by Peter Russell. We are so used to conditional love. And it's very hard for us to feel the unconditional. And I'm thinking here about judgment. There is so much judgment around us. And as children, we take this upon us, and it becomes the inner voice, the inner critic that is just constantly going on if we allow it. So we have this critic on the outside, and then we create this critic on the inside. And that's just the opposite of love, because it brings up so much non-acceptance, right? It doesn't allow us to accept ourselves as we truly are, and it doesn't allow us to accept the others as they truly are. And we keep judging and we keep putting them down. And why do we do that? Because we don't feel we are enough. And then we need to prove to ourselves that we are better than. This need for superiority actually comes from inferiority. And now I remember play upon words that Dr. Shefali did when she said inferiority, which has the fear in the word, that it actually comes from the fear of not being good enough, right?
With this quote, what I want to first clarify are all the ways that sometimes this happens with a parent or a family where the child can feel that the love is, conditional, because it's very difficult for a parent, ask any parent, you love your child? Yes. Is this conditional? No. Is there any circumstance where your love is conditional? No, I love my child so much. And of course, I absolutely understand that. And it is an absolutely honest and pure intention. But in giving examples, I think is where this can become more apparent. The child wants to play a certain sport. Parent wants a certain sport, wants to play, I don't know, tennis. And then the parent says, no, why don't you play football? Why don't you play football? Everybody's playing football. Your friends are playing football, or it's just trying to move away from what the child wants as to something different. That it's something, not what the child wants, but something different. Another example.
Maybe I can provide one.
Yeah.
In the small things that we tell them throughout the day, like you didn't brush your teeth properly. What's with that dress? You should have taken the other one. Why do you eat like that? Keep the fork properly in your hand. Or, it's in all these small things that we tell to our children. If we were to stop and to think about them and to look at this, there are so many other ways that we can guide the child in a more accepting way and not in putting them down all the time. Don't speak so loud. Don't do that. Don't run like that. And we are somehow stopping the essence of the child. And we constantly...
Let's do that.
Sorry?
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Let's do that. Throw one and I'll throw back at you how that could land on the child. So the first one was don't run, right? Was it?
Let's say don't run.
Okay. I wish he was more with a calm demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Why did you didn't brush your teeth properly?
I wish he was more diligent, like, that could have been like his brother or like his sister or
comparison. Keep the fork properly. in your hand?
I hope I can remember, I wish he could remember the table manners.
Read more. Why do you keep watching TV? Go and read something.
I wish he was more academic or more into reading or more active.
Go play with your friends. Why don't you have more friends?
I wish he was more social and outgoing.
And we can go on and on. And if we know, maybe it would be a nice exercise to go to the child and to see what the child is hearing. So don't run. What does this mean for the child?
My mom is telling me not to run, and I don't know what to do with this feeling inside me that I need to move. And what is wrong here?
Yeah, there's something wrong with me. Brush your teeth properly, or you didn't brush your teeth well enough.
I brushed my teeth how I always brush them, but my mom just said that I didn't brush them well enough. I don't know what that means.
I don't do things well enough. Also.
I don't do things well enough.
I'm not good. I'm not good at brushing my teeth. I'm not good at. Go and play with your friends more. Why don't you have more friends?
I've spent all day at school with a lot of people, and I just want to sit alone for a bit now. But my mom thinks I have to be outside with my friends. What's wrong? Why do I not want to go out now?
And I think that would be enough.
I think no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to turn it also to how the child feels when they say all these things to themselves. I don't belong. I don't feel seen. I'm not accepted. I don't feel accepted. Yeah, you go.
I was going to say, in the first example that we gave, was all of them was, as a mother, when you would say one of them, I wish. So it's the wishing of something different. I wish he was different. I wish she was different. I wish the situation was different. And I think that head on is exactly the conditionality of the love, where if you love something unconditionally, you love it exactly the way it is without wishing for it to be different. That would be for the first part. And then the second part, if it was also the unconditional love, the child would not feel the what is wrong with me. That it would be this feeling of my parent sees, and I'll come to the goodness in me, or sees me as this beautiful shining light. And that's how you feel when you're loved by someone. And I'll just take that a step further to say that, because I can imagine a parent listening to this might feel triggered, well, what if the behavior is not socially acceptable, or what if the behavior does need to change? And I think it's important to note here that it's very important to distinguish between the child's being and their behavior. And the idea is their being is what you see as whole and what you love unconditionally, and then their behavior, including the feelings they express, their choices, is what is then addressed, and is what then can be discussed, can be changed, can be addressed, but always knowing that they are always whole, and their love, the love to them is unconditional in that sense. And
I would even go further from the behavior, because the behavior is just the cause, the effect, the effect. But if we only address the behavior, it's the tip of the iceberg. We don't go to the cause, to the root. And the root is always a need of the child to be seen, to be loved, to be accepted, to belong, to matter, yeah. And when we fulfill the need, the behavior goes away. But if we only focus on the behavior, we just spiral it more and more, and we create even more and more of non-acceptance. And I don't know how long this is going to be, but it would be maybe interesting to also have another possibility. How would you say it differently? If you observe the child didn't brush their teeth, is there anything, or should you say anything?
I'm laughing because that's exactly what I was going to tell you we should do. But the example I had in mind was the running, because
Yeah,
that's one that that I thought of often, where if it's okay if he's running, I noticed you want to run. We don't run in the house. Would you like to go run outside? So you said, you restated the rules of the house, or the ways that we engage in the house, and you respected and acknowledged the way the person feels, the child feels, and you gave them an alternative.
and you saw them.
You saw them.
You told them that you see them.
Yes. Yes.
You didn't brush your teeth. There I would say it can be a twofold. It can be, on one hand, you can maybe say, oh, there's some, I don't know, would you still like to, I don't know, maybe next time you can help your child brush their teeth, or, oh, I noticed there is something on your teeth. Would you like to take a look? Or, right, to point it, but in such a way that they can also problem solve.
I like that. I like that because there wasn't the assumption that you didn't brush your teeth, or you don't know how to brush it. There was no assumption. And it was giving them the benefit of the doubt, like giving it to them to see what the need is. Because until this moment, it's not even clear what the need is. If we go to the example of go to play with, why aren't you going to play with the kids outside? The way that scenario played out, the mother would never know what the need of the child is. But if she'd come to say, I noticed your friends are playing in the garden outside. Are you interested to play with them? It gives the child a chance to share. And it's a moment that would have been missed otherwise. And the child can say, no, I don't want to. And then the mom can say, oh, okay, you feel like staying home, or just leave it at that. The child might say, I had a long day at school, or I don't feel like, it's too loud, or it opens the door for engagement, for connection, for the need to actually be there, without the story of not social, not outgoing, I want things to be different, without all that.
Without judgment. The mother here didn't come with the non-acceptance. The mother came with curiosity. And this is what we have to, I don't know, to put somewhere as parents and as human beings, to always bring our curiosity with ourselves, to be curious about what is going on and not to assume, to be curious.